Hi, I am Mandy of Mad Cow Mandy Designs. It is November the 10th, 2022, and this is Stitch 39. Oh my word, this stuff. So, I have knitting and crochet, new designs, mail, a new toy to share with you. There's so much stuff. And no works in progress. Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we get there. Let's hop into finished objects. You might have noticed I'm looking a little yarny today. Let's back you up and take a look. This is my sea glass tank top from Bad Wolf Girl Designs. So cute. Loving all the colors. I do still need to not weave, they're already woven. I still need to trim my ends. Okay, so the orange is Southern Skeins Red Rock Canyon. I had it in stash. It was one of the monthly colorways. Don't ask me when, because it was a long time ago. Been hoarding it, but it looked like a really great Halloween orange, so I picked it, not knowing what any of these colors were gonna look like, because all of these are a 13-day Halloween advent that I bought from Wonderful Wool over in the UK. I have never worked with their yarn before, and I love it. I mean, you can barely tell the difference between it and the Southern Skeins. It's really nice. Had no idea that it was going to be a rainbow, but I'm so excited because now I can wear it like year round, not just at Halloween. Oh, I scared a cat. My bad. Yeah, so as far as my tails go, I wove them all one direction for like a long ways and then blocked it. And I was like, after it gets done blocking, I'll trim the ends and it should be good to go. Well, it dried like right before bed. So I folded it up and tossed it in a drawer. And then this morning I went to put it on and I'm like, oh, I forgot about those. So there they are. I can't feel them. So I'll probably wear it for the day and cut them tonight, maybe. I don't know. At some point I'll get around to cutting those. Nobody has to know. They're on the inside. So yeah, that is my first finished object. Obviously, I cannot recommend this pattern enough because this is the third one y'all have watched me make. I did change the bottom of it. So it is ribbing, which matches the top, by the way. It's supposed to have a lace bottom on it, and I've already done two with the lace bottom, so I wanted something different. I just kind of knit for how far I was supposed to have, less 2 inches, and then I did 2 inches of a 4x2 ribbing. It worked out great. It fits. It didn't need to be lacy and extra big at the bottom. Worked just fine. So if anybody decides to make this pattern and you have questions, I can help. I can try to help. I'm not sure what I did differently this go around, but my I-cord edging came out a little wonky, especially right here. It keeps trying to roll down. I don't know. It's still wearable and cute, and everybody's gonna be distracted by all the colors. So up next, at my last show, my neighbor came out to see all the vendors because she enjoys going to those kind of events. So she came out and saw everything, and then that night she came over to my house and was like, I want one of those giant stuffed animals. I was like, okay. So I opened the tubs for her and she picked one out, and then she ordered one. So she bought a kitty cat, and then she ordered a puppy dog. Ah! She picked out silver glitter eyes. Oh my god. This is the third time the mail alarm has gone off. Our mailman cannot get it together today. And I know it's the mailman because I can hear the truck. So yeah, she picked Silver Glitter Eyes and this color yarn, which is kind of a burgundy wine kind of color. I don't know that that really translates on the camera. It probably just looks brown. But isn't it cute? Ah! Okay, so I need to run across the street and deliver that. I finished my blanket square. It's not a square, I know. This one is called Scattered Islets, and it is from a lovely Blunder Knits who is teamed up with Southern Skeins, and they host a knit night on Zoom once a month. Please come join us. But then they give us a pattern, and if you want to knit it, you can. If you don't have to. You can bring your knit, your crochet. We just want all the fibery people together, chit-chatting and sharing. So I'm making the blanket. I had leftover yarn from a blanket that I had already made like a few years ago, so I'm just using leftovers. And can we talk about the fact that I do not learn from my mistakes the first time? I showed y'all this a couple weeks ago. I ripped it out and started it over because I was only like 3 inches in, and I'm like, I don't get the name. Scattered Islets? Like, they're not scattered. There's nothing scattered about these. They're in columns. Y'all, I only did the first 4 rows of an 8-row pattern. There was a page break between row 4 and 5, and I wasn't paying attention. So of course mine were in columns because I was only doing the first eyelet. I wasn't doing the second eyelet of the pattern. It's beautiful. Not her fault. Again, this is the second time that a page break has gotten me, and I didn't notice. I did not fix the last one because I didn't notice until like almost the end of my square. Was not going back. But this one, I was only like about here-ish, and yeah, we'll go ahead and rip that out and do it again. So it is correct. It is done. This is actually for last month. I haven't started on this month's yet. Oops. I'll get there. Not sure when, but I'll get there because I do not want to fall behind. I want to actually keep up with that project and it be finished when it's supposed to be finished. From there, I have a bunch of work stuff. So I baked up a dozen fortune cookies day before yesterday. Did this because I had a dozen at my last show and they all sold on Etsy since then. It's a little under a month. I sold a dozen cookies on Etsy. They do really well on Etsy because I let you put a personalized fortune in them. And yeah, so I have another dozen ready to go because I do have a show coming up. I got accepted into the show in downtown this Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's going to be a big show. I am so excited. I need all the stuff. So that's why you're seeing all this work stuff. I wanted something small that was kind of Christmassy that I could also sell at the show, and let's see. Easter, I had the little bunny rabbits. They did great. Halloween, I had the little glow ghosts. They did great. So I asked y'all for ideas on Christmas, and y'all delivered. Thank you so much for all your ideas. It really got the juices flowing, and I was able to be creative. And look at him! I made a Rudolph. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah! Oh my god. He's too cute. He's so cute. Okay. So yeah, I'll be selling little Rudolphs at the show, working on those. I just finished designing the pattern yesterday because it was the antlers, man. Those antlers really got me. Itty bitty little tiny tubes trying to crochet is not fun. So this is what I ended up with, and I'm happy with it. I think he looks cute. And that little tail. I just can't with the little tail. It is so cute. Okay. I have more finished objects, but we'll talk about those in a minute. I don't have any whips to share with you because I haven't worked on any of my previous whips, and everything that I have worked on this week was small, and I finished it with the exception of 3 of these guys. Once I work out the pattern for these, which I've done, I make an assembly line and I make a bunch of little antlers and a bunch of bodies and a bunch of feet and a bunch of tails. So I have 3 of these right now that are at this stage. They have their antlers and their bodies, their heads. Their head is a body. I don't know. And then I have a bag of feet over there. Totally normal. I have a bag of feet. So yeah, I'm working on assembling those, and they are going to look so cute when they're all sitting together on the table. Other than that, I haven't touched any of the previous whips that you've seen. So I don't really have anything to show you in that category. But mail. I do have mail. I lost my mind last week. I had mail last week to show you and just forgot. It came in on Thursday the week prior, something like that. And so I didn't want the cats to eat it, and I put it in a drawer, out of sight, out of mind, forgot to write it down, and didn't show it last week. So I have Pretty Twisted Yarns Christmas Mystery colorway. She did this at Halloween. It was fun, so she did it again at Christmas. I had to sign up for it. And the color is Don't Throw Me Down Clark. I got the Lavish base. Don't Throw Me Down Clark you might recognize as one of Aunt Bethany's lines from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You can totally see it in Clark's face when she says, "Don't throw me down, Clark," that he's considering throwing her down. He's escorting her out the house, down the sidewalk and steps, and you can see it on his face. He is done with family. He would not mind if she fell. But if you haven't gotten your colorway, you might want to look away. And here it is. Oh, so much Christmas. Love it. And it's gone. Again, it's a holiday colorway and it's National Lampoon. So Mom is going to get a pair of socks out of these. I can get 2 pairs of socks out of 100 grams, so I'll get a pair and Mom will get a pair, and yeah. Okay. My other piece of mail is equipment, a toy, I don't know what you want to call it, and I feel like I need to explain myself. I am not switching to the dark side, Aunt Pam. I'm calling you out because she called me out. I sent her a photo of what I was doing, and she asked if I was switching to the dark side. I am not. I am switching to the realistic side, and she understands. So, I got a knitting machine. This is the Centro. It is, oh my goodness, a 48 peg knitting machine, crank the handle, it goes round and round. Let's see here. I can't do this one-handed. So you have a little odometer over here that counts your rows, suction cups to help it stick to the counter, and it really does stick to the counter. I was impressed. I was expecting something pretty cheap because it's listed as being like a kid's toy. It's not, it doesn't feel cheap. It actually feels really nice considering it's a bunch of plastic. Now, I have to give a huge shout out to Andi the Knittress. She is amazing. If y'all are not following her, go follow her. She has an Instagram that she posts a lot of stuff on. She's a podcaster here on YouTube, and she does some really cool stuff. She used to work for a local knitting store, and it closed. She is currently working on opening a new brick and mortar store in her town, but, you know, it takes a lot of startup to do that. So she is running a store on her own website, I believe. And I'll have everything linked down below for y'all. I believe she has her own website that she's using, and it's really cool. She's got some great stuff. She 3D prints. Her husband is a yarn dyer, so she has a lot of that on there. She dabbles with the yarn dyeing. She recently did a really cool video and had, I think it was like 20 different dyers dye yarn using the same color palette, and they all came out completely different. It was really cool to see, and there's going to be more to that video because she's going to crank them. Yeah, I said crank them because she does a lot of machine knitting. She has the equivalent of this, but by Andi. And she also has a really nice sock knitting machine. So the lady knows her stuff about cranking. I messaged her because I watched some YouTube videos and I was still feeling a little overwhelmed, and I was like, is this the normal size? Because it looks massive. I'm looking to make hats to go to market with. She's like, yep, that's the normal size. And she's like, as far as the brand goes, she has an Andi, but her friend has one of these. They sat side by side and did some comparison, and Andy's like, if you're going to use it a ton, I suggest the Andi. If not, this will do. So, I live in Louisiana. I don't know how many hats I'm going to sell. I went for the cheaper option. This is about $56, I believe, on Amazon. I will have a link down below. Andi is like $200. Yeah, I couldn't quite stomach that bill, especially not knowing how many hats I would sell here. So, I got this, and I have been playing with it. Oh dear. There we go. I knew when I bought it what I was wanting to make. I was wanting to make a hung hem hat so that it would have a brim on it. And I was having a lot of trouble. I couldn't get it to work. I just threw something on the floor. I couldn't get the hem to work properly. I watched a lot of videos, and I would get the hem hung, and then the next two rows would just completely fall apart, and the hat would fall apart. Like, it didn't make any sense, and I couldn't figure it out. So I watched all the videos I could find. Nobody else had this problem. I had no idea what I was doing wrong, and I messaged Andi again. I sent her a picture, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And she's like, you know, I've never tried to do a hung hem on that machine before. Let me go play. 30 minutes later, I get a message from her saying, it's a tension problem. You need to pull down on the fabric on the inside of the machine as you're cranking for 2 rounds after you hang your hem. I did that and it worked like magic. Y'all, Andi is so good. She's been doing this for a while, and I am so glad that she is a teacher. Like that is her calling in life. She loves to teach, which is why she's wanting to open a brick and mortar again so she can continue teaching other fiber artists. Like, that's amazing. So let me share with you what I did in one day. Yeah. So I started here, worsted weight acrylic yarn, because again, we're going to market and trying to be price cost effective, whatever you want to say. I've noticed at markets, people tend to have hats and they're cheap. I've knit hats before. I love knitting hats. It takes me about a week, and nobody wants to pay that kind of price. This takes like half an hour. This I can do. This I can sell at a lower price point that the people are actually looking for. So this is a hung hem. You go round and round on the machine for a while, and then you pick up the beginning of your knit tube and you put it back on the hooks of the knitting machine. It will stitch the 2 layers together so that they are now attached and not going to go anywhere. And it makes a nice little brim. So this is definitely a slouchy hat. Like so. And I decided to get fur poms because that's what's popular. Everybody wants fur poms right now. I found these plastic stitch markers for cheap and use those to loop through the elastic on the pom. That way people can take them off and wash them. And yeah, so that was the first one. And then I did a sparkly one. Oh, that sparkle shows up with a red pom. And this one is not as slouchy. I used 2 different kinds of yarn. I was playing with two-tone, but I used different brands, and I think you can tell because yeah. Not a huge fan, but look at how well the pom matches. And then I tried a thinner yarn. So this is a number 3 instead of a number 4. And it also has sparkle in it, but I don't think it shows up. So I like it, and I ended up doing a double knit, so it's kind of like the muscle burl hat. And of course now I undid it, so I can't. Okay, put it back in the thing. There we go. Yeah, super cute. Can wear it slouchy, wear it tight and fold it up, and it's not too hot because it is a thinner yarn and it has a more open gauge to it. So then I used a different number 3, and it looks weird right there. Okay. A different number 3 yarn, and I did a hung hem on it, and I like it. It's pretty lightweight, which is nice for this area, so I might actually end up doing a few more in that size as well. So yeah, I promise you I did not switch over to the dark side. I'm just trying to be realistic. I cannot knit hats at a price point that the people want to pay, but I can crank them. So there we go. Okay, that brings us to chatter. Knit picks. Big news. 1, Felici's back. New colors. I ordered the whole pack. Have I worked any of the previous pack that I bought from spring? No. At some point, I'm just going to have a Felici marathon and knit a whole bunch of it. But until then, I'll just keep ordering it. 2, they are having their big sale. So I went on there and I ordered a bunch of Brava. I ordered some regular Brava worsted and also some Brava 500, which is a 500-gram ball of it. It's massive. That is what I used to make my last sweater with, and it was actually pretty nice, so I'm hoping I can use it for work. That is my intention, is that I can use that for work and maybe get away from the local box store, because I don't really like supporting them. I shop there because it's all I have. So I think the price is going to be doable, that I can start ordering from Knit Picks instead of Hobby Lobby. Yeah, so that is their sale. I wanted to inform y'all that on my works in progress, I am in the single digits. I have 8 projects right now. That's it, just 8. That is all. I am so excited about that. Like, y'all have no idea. I am hoping to sit down and do another video. If you've been watching, I have a mini series called All Those Old Whips, and I started in July with like 20-ish projects, and now I'm down to 8. I am feeling so much better. I feel like it's doable and I have a plan, and I will never be a one project person. That's just not me. I will always have several projects going, but it's going to be like a scrappy project and a blanket project, and it's only going to be one in each category instead of the many in each category that I have. I have 3 blankets right now, I think. No, that's not right. Wave, Pentagon, Scrappy, Color Work, and the Knit Along. I have 5 blankets that I'm working on right now. That's not okay. At max, I want 2. My Scrappy and then an actual one that I'm steadily working on. So, and if y'all recall, during October, I posted a lot of pictures of my feet. Every day I posted a picture of what socks I was wearing, and it was hashtagged with DRM Socktober22, I believe was the hashtag. Dana Ray Mix was hosting Socktober. She just simply wanted us to wear our socks every day and tag as many people as possible. So I was tagging yarn dyers and pattern designers. I was tagging all the people every day, posting pictures of my feet, which became quite the joke in this house. My mom texted me one day and she goes, "Today's socks?" I was like, "Oh my God." And I hopped up and my husband's like, "Where are you going? What's wrong?" And I was like, "I forgot to post a picture of my feet on the internet today." Because that's totally normal, right? Yeah, so fun. I won a prize. She was doing prizes for Socktober. I didn't even know that there were prizes. I was just playing and trying to have fun. she pulled prizes and I won. So at some point I will be getting a skein of yarn and a stitch marker chandelier. I don't know what that is. We'll find out together. So yeah, and I did meet my personal goal. This was not Dana Rae Makes rule or anything. It was just a personal goal of mine to wear 31 different pairs of socks. And I did. Now I really, really need to wash socks because all of my socks are dirty. I have not washed socks in a month. All of them are dirty. I think I have like a handful of socks left to wear. I really need to wash. And then birthdays. So I told you it is birthday season. Last week I had my husband's birthday. He wanted carrot cake and it was good. I don't think I would ever request that particular cake. I love carrot cake. That one had a lot of spice in it. It had, you know, cinnamon and allspice and nutmeg and clove. I don't like clove. That's a personal problem. I had my wisdom teeth removed and ended up with a dry socket, and they have to pack it when that happens, and they use gauze that has been soaked in clove. Your whole mouth, everything tastes like clove. You can't escape it. There's no drinking water in it going away. Like, it's just there. And I think every like 2 days they were redoing it, so then it's just clove again, and I just don't like clove anymore. But the cake was really good, everybody liked it, and it paired well with coffee, by the way. If you're a coffee and cake kind of person, the recipe came from the Joy of Cooking cookbook. This week is his mom's birthday, and she wants her chocolate lava cupcakes. Y'all, these were so good. It's a chocolate cupcake, and you pipe a chocolate ganache into the middle of it, and you bake them. And I make them ahead of time, so when it's time to serve, I remove the cupcake wrapper, heat them in the microwave for 5-8 seconds, like very short time. You just barely heat them up, and then because we can't have too much chocolate, you get chocolate frosting on top of it. After you microwave, then you add the frosting. Oh, it's so warm and gooey, and oh, the chocolate. It's so good. That is a recipe I found on Pinterest. I'll see if I can't link that for y'all as well. It does not have the frosting on it. That's one that I added. It came out of a different cookbook that I have. So, I feel like I've rambled long enough. Life is markets right now. Work, work, work. Got to get ready for shows because I have the one in downtown the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I signed up for one the week after that, and one the week after that. So I have a lot of shows to do and not a lot of time to prepare for them. So it has been absolutely wonderful talking to y'all. I love getting to know you and hear all the stuff that you're working on. I love all the messages that y'all send me. Thank you so much. And I will see y'all again next week. Bye.